Hey, what's up? I'm Chris from TMTRD, and this is the first ever Dogs and Crocs podcast. And I'm here with the TMTRD founder and president, Michael Baines.
Hey, how you doing, guys? And welcome to our first podcast.
And we just came up with the idea to do a podcast. What's the reason behind that?
Well, I've been doing the AMA for about over 2 years, and I think that it's not really that much people looking anymore. So I was thinking to have a podcast. Actually, it was your idea to have a podcast to answer people's questions, where they can, send in to us if they have the email, or message us, or make a comment in the comment section, and we will try to answer them as much as we can.
And some of the AMAs that you've done, you do get a lot of the same questions because you have new people following and tuning in. But I think now we'll have some archived videos that answer kind of all your questions, which I'm going to start with some of those today.
Yeah.
So I have known you, actually it was 5 years ago last month, wow, that I started as a volunteer.
Time flies.
Time flies. Wow. So I know a lot of the answers to these questions,
yeah,
but I'm going to go ahead and ask you for the people that don't know. So how long have you lived in Thailand?
I've lived here since May 2002, so it's 22 years next year. And I am from Sweden, and I moved here to take care of a restaurant and being a chef. So that's when I started my new chapter in life in Thailand.
And what were you doing in Sweden before you moved to Thailand? Working as a chef?
I worked as a chef in Sweden. I've been a chef since I was 18 years old, yeah.
And I know at one point you had your own restaurant. So how long were you working, operating other restaurants, and then you decided to open your own?
So I've been an employee since I was 18 until I was 43, 45, maybe. I think I opened my restaurant in 2013. 10 years ago, yeah. 10 years ago I had my own restaurant. The reason is that when I worked with my old employers, which were great people, and I would like to work with them still, but we had 6 units at the most, and in 3 different provinces here in Thailand. So I travel around there a lot, and many staff, about 250 staff, and we sold off the not so profitable units, and we ended up with 1 only, and I was happy with that. But then my boss said, we're going to open a hotel. I said, that's it for me. I cannot work with more staff now. So I resigned, and I moved back to Bang San, where I moved the first time in 2002. So this was in Rayong, 2 years there with the last unit I worked with. I moved back here to this area.
So you had lived in Thailand for a while, and you see that there's dogs everywhere. But what was the moment? What happened what was the moment that changed everything?
Well, it was actually in Rayong. We had this open-air restaurant, and in 2011, the 10th November 2011, a dog turned up on the backside of my restaurant and was in very bad shape. Skinny, hungry, had wounds all over her, and so I started to feed her. I gained a trust, took her to a clinic 5 days later and healed her up. She was there for 10 days, and that was the start. And I named her Muang. And why, would you wonder?
Yeah.
Well, here is the answer, because I actually gave her mango. Mango is Muang in Thai, and she ate it at that time, and then she threw up in the car. That's why she was named Muang. So that was the first one, and then I found a dog on the street, old dog on the street. I was driving from my home to my restaurant and hit by a car, and he couldn't move, and I saw the circles on the road that the dog was trying to get up, so but only managed to go in circles. Lifted him up, took it to a clinic. That was number 2. Then number 3, and then number 4. And then I started to get involved in a local dog rescue. The name is Dog Rescue Thailand. They're still there in Lemmerpim, doing a great job. You should look them up. Got involved with them because nobody was there. There was a bunch of people from Sweden that started this to help the dogs. But one by one, they dropped out of the project, and then there was none. Only Teresa, who's still in charge, but she was in Sweden. So I helped the girls to feed the dogs on the street, make sure we had food, and to work with my boss so he could open up a little shelter down there. So we did. So that was the start.
How about Muang today? Any idea?
She got a home up in north of Thailand, up in Isan. I think she's not lived with us anymore, but she lived quite a healthy, good life for maybe 10 years. Yeah.
That's nice. And
very nice.
What about growing up? Did you have dogs?
I did not. My stepdad had a dog, but I was only 8, 9 years old. I can't remember that much of. Her name was Raleigh, and I think she was with us for about 2 years, and then she passed away. So that was the only pet that we had.
I think that's interesting that you didn't have dogs growing up, and you worked a career as a chef, and then it was really just that one moment at the restaurant in Rayong, where just for whatever reason something happened and it changed the course of your life. I think that's
changed a lot, but it's also I could have had a day off on that day. I would never see the dog, and then I probably would have my own restaurant still.
Yeah, we wouldn't be here now.
I wouldn't be out here talking.
No, 45 staff would be working somewhere else.
Yeah,
it's amazing how things work out.
And about 1,150 dogs would probably not be alive.
Yeah, that's right.
Or more during the 12 years I've been doing this. Yeah.
Yeah, you've rescued probably a couple thousand?
Yeah, probably.
And spaying and neutering. And as the podcast goes on, we'll get into more details about that stuff, like the work that we do. And
also to remind people that in the comment section, you can ask anything, and we will try to cover that subject in the next one or a few podcasts down the road. But you can ask anything about how to discover blood parasites or what other symptoms you want to know. So,
yeah, or even if they just want to know about, what your favorite food is or...
Oh, your favorite food?
Yeah, mine,
What is your favorite food?
I think I have I'll ask you this too after me. I have a question that's like, what would your last meal be if you were on, for whatever reason, if you were on death row? Like mine would be, I guess it doesn't have to be death row. It just, you have to know it's your last meal.
Oh.
And mine would be a cheeseburger, fries, chocolate shake, and maybe a Coke.
You keep on eating those fries.
Well,
you're just a filler. 2 burgers instead. I tried to teach you that. Same when they had the buffet. I told them, go from the other end.
Yeah.
That's the most expensive shit.
Yeah.
There you have the potatoes and salad. No, skip that. Go there.
Yeah.
That's a trick. That's a tip. Coming from a chef. I'm not a chef anymore, so I don't care about the profit or loss for the restaurant.
I learned that too. In Thailand, they love hot pot. And I'll go to a hot pot buffet, and I'm only getting the beef. Like, I'm not going to really eat even the vegetables,
Of course, yeah.
Because you want to get your money's worth.
So my last meal, Swedish-style pizza. That was it's called Quattro Stagioni. It means the 4 seasons. Wow, I want a pizza now.
I'll have to try it. And, we alternate weekends off. We spend a lot of time in Bangkok. And last weekend, I had pizza from a place called Pizza Mania. that was really, really good.
Oh, nice.
So that's something to check out. They had pizza and garlic knots, which is, I'm from New Jersey, and every pizza shop has garlic knots. It's basically just like a ball of dough covered in oil and garlic. And this place had a really nice pizza, so that's something for you to check out next time you're in Bangkok.
I will do that. Yeah.
And how many, or when did you start the feeding route?
So I moved back to Bang Sen, and I opened my restaurant named Carrot. And I lived not far away from that. So when I drove to my restaurant, I saw a few dogs there. I started to feed them. And I also have, in the morning, I walk my dogs, and I walk them behind my restaurant, just up in the jungle, and saw more dogs there. So I started to feed them there also. So I had a route every morning before I went to work, and we still do that one. And there's still some dogs alive there. This is almost 10 years ago. So Uncle was one of the first dogs I fed up there, and he's with us now because he's in his golden years.
Yeah.
And his sidekicks, Lemon and Bully Boy. I saw the other day Belly. We call her Belly because she loved the belly scratches, and she's still there. That made me happy.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw pictures from that.
Yeah.
From that when you went out.
That was nice. It was nice.
And now we feed about 400 dogs, and obviously it's your original feeding route.
Yeah.
But then it's expanded quite a bit.
Quite a bit, yeah.
Quite a bit. It actually,
you do those rounds, not so much anymore, but you have done more. You know more about those routes than I do now because I have other things to do. I would like to do the feeding rounds because it's relaxing and you meet all these happy dogs, but there's a lot of work here. So
yeah, and it does from start to finish. It takes about 4 hours, maybe a little more, and that's if nothing. That's if there's no rescues. That's if you don't encounter any. If it goes smoothly, it takes 4 to 4.5 hours, which is half of the day.
Yeah.
But it's one of my favorite things to do. It's one of the favorite activities of our volunteers and stuff too.
Oh, they love it.
Yeah. So
then the route will take 6 hours because they love to stop and cuddle the dogs. So yeah, it's one of the fun things as a volunteer, which you can sign up for. Send an email to volunteer@tmtrd.org and talk to Chris. He's in charge of the volunteer program and the sponsorship program, but we can talk about that another episode.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about a lot over the next few months, but we'll wrap this one up. And it's a beautiful day. We got some work to do.
Yeah.
Actually, we got 10 o'clock. We're going to rescue a dog in pretty bad shape. We tried before, couldn't catch the dog, so we're going to try again today. We're bringing in Wah and Rabbit, who you guys will meet later on.
Yeah.
And that's like bringing in the big guns.
That's the professionals, big guns. That's correct.
All right, thanks for watching the Dogs and Crocs podcast, and we'll see you next time.
Hey, but explanation of the name, maybe?
Yeah.
Why Dogs and Crocs? Because we have a lot of dogs and most of the staff work in Crocs.
Yep.
So that's the reason. Like it, hate it, I don't know, but I think it's a good name.
It's a good name, and hey, maybe Crocs will sponsor TMTRD one day.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for watching, guys.
All right, see
you next time. Bye-bye.